begins as the inaugural A-League's Unite round gets underway. Good evening and welcome to Leichhardt Stadium on Gadigal land as Melbourne Victory and Perth Glory go head-to-head in the Liberty A-League. Alongside me for tonight's call is former Matilda and current Young Matildas coach Leah Blaney. Leah, a big game, a big weekend of football, and it's great to see you.
A big weekend and an exciting match on our hands tonight. I think it's going to be a tight affair. We know that this Melbourne Victory side is a stacked squad that is out of form, and for Perth Glory, despite some good performances, they can be inconsistent.
Well, indeed, it has been a tough trot for Melbourne Victory, and last weekend's loss to Western United sees Jeff Hopkins make 3 changes to the starting 11. Matilda's goalkeeper Lydia Williams a notable absence as she went off with what looked to be an ankle injury at half-time last weekend, while recently signed Courtney Newbon steps in to goal. American Tori Hansen slots into defence and she takes the place of Jess Nash, who also picked up a knock in last weekend's game. Alana Murphy starts in place of Paige Zoyce, who drops to the bench, along with a familiar face in Matilda, Emily Gilnick, returning to the matchday squad. Well, for Perth, just 2 changes for Alex Aparkas today since his side's 2-0 loss to the Wanderers last week. Quinley Kazada makes just her 3rd start of the season. Returning to the starting side along with youngster Georgia Cassidy, Susan von Songkham drops out of the starting side for the first time this season, and she joins Sophia Sakalis on the bench along with Sadie Lawrence, who makes a return to the matchday 16. Well, Jamila Rankin, one of just 2 players who has played all minutes for Jeff Hopkins this year, is the 20-year-old Rankin, and a player, Leah, who was previously part of your Young Matildas program.
She indeed was. She's a country girl. She hails from Lismore. We know she fell in love with the game playing for her junior club, Eureka FC. She's one of few naturally left-footed players actually playing on that left side in our A-League, which helps Victory in their build-up. She's able to open up and find passes down the line, and really looking forward to what she brings to the match tonight.
Well, they're bringing some singing at the moment. Good to see the Victory girls enjoying themselves just before kickoff, and someone who does pull the strings in the centre of the park for Perth Glory is Hannah Lowry, that woman on screen.
Hit the nail on the head with her pulling the strings in the middle of the park. She's an excellent technician, really good vision and high football IQ. What I'm really liking that Hannah has added to her game this season, Grace, is that defensively when things get difficult, she's rolling up her sleeves, she's showing leadership, she wants to be on the ball, she wants to break up play. Exciting prospect for Australian football.
Still just 20 years old is Hannah Lowry, but there is Caitlin Williams in charge of proceedings tonight on a warm afternoon at Leichhardt Stadium, 28 degrees. And Caitlin Williams has the whistle for the afternoon. Well, there's a familiar face back on the bench for Jeff Hopkins' side. Emily Gilnick, she's been ravaged with injury in recent weeks and months for that. A calf injury most recently keeping her out, but so great to see her back in the matchday squad.
Brilliant to see Em pull the boots back on it and be in this matchday squad. We know that she's been at Victory for a while now, and despite her injury, she would have been bringing so much leadership off the field to this group of players as a former and current Matilda.
Yeah, indeed, and someone else who's having a wonderful season for Perth Glory is Morgan Aquino. The highest save percentage in the league has Morgan Aquino, and what a season she's having.
Terrific season. We know she bided her time a little bit going between the first and second role last season, and this season she's gone in, she's taken the opportunity with both hands, and she's just a consistent performer week in, week out.
And talk about consistent performer, Rachel Lowe for Melbourne Victory. She's indeed played that role for Jeff Hopkins, and hasn't she enjoyed herself?
She has. She looks like she's enjoying her football. She's getting on the scoreboard. She's providing assists. She's made the move to Melbourne Victory this season from Sydney FC, where she's getting a lot of game time, and she's been a really good addition to this Melbourne Victory side.
Kickoff just moments away. This very first game of Unite round for the weekend. As Caitlin Williams, there is the whistle, and it will be Rachel Lowe, Melbourne Victory, who get us underway. Rachel Lowe and the Victory girls running from the left to the right of your screen. And it has been a difficult trot for Melbourne Victory, Leah. 3 games they've lost in a row now, and the last time they lost 4 consecutive games was in December 2016, so over 8 years ago. And the 4th defeat that day came at the hands of, could you believe it, Perth Glory. So an interesting one this afternoon for the Victory girls.
A really interesting match ahead, and I touched on the fact that this Melbourne Victory side is a stacked squad. So the expectation is that today they come out, they play with more fluency. They're a little bit more exciting and innovative in that front third, which I think has really been lacking for them today.
Chidiac looks to make amends, but the ball falls short to Perth, but a couple of short passes and it's back in Victory's hands. And well, Perth, after a flying start to their season 2, they've had a difficult last couple of games. Last weekend at home to the Wanderers. The Wanderers had a fantastic performance and dispatched Perth rather comfortably, and Alex Aparkas, well, he'll want to turn that around this afternoon.
He definitely will, and again, another squad that's got some strong players in it. I think Perth Glory have probably come a little bit predictable in their play, in their build-up in particular, and teams are figuring that out and finding ways to nullify it. So today the challenge for them is to find a solution.
Well, it's a warm afternoon, as mentioned, at Leichhardt Stadium, and you can see early stages, quite a high press coming from Melbourne Victory as Perth just look to play out of pressure. They've done well then as Anton can drive into space. Looking for Kazada in just her 3rd start of the season. But Victory regain possession. Here's Emma Checker. Morrison. Looks for the feet of Chidiac, who's just searching for an option. Kayla Morrison, in her 3rd season at Melbourne Victory, wearing the captain's armband. And high pressure too from Perth Glory. Well, there is Jeff Hopkins. He's the most successful coach in the A-League women's history, and with this difficult run of results that he's had, no doubt he'll want to see nothing but a win tonight for Victory. You can hear the early instruction from Alex Aparkas, just imploring his team to step and close the space.
Yeah, and I think it'll be interesting tactical battle in the central areas for both sides. We know that Melbourne Victory, they like to play through central areas. A little bit guilty of playing straight balls at time and forcing those passes to their key players. So today it'll be about them creating greater angled support in midfield, so there's more angled passing, less straight balls, and trying to get their key players on the ball to pull those strings.
We just saw on screen too, Alex Aparkas, and no doubt a win, the goal for him tonight too, the obvious one. But it's a milestone game for the club. Tonight, Perth Glory's 200th match played in the Liberty A-League. Of course, not all of those under Aparkas, but I'm sure he'd love to seal that milestone with a victory. Perth looking to spring forward. Here's Jale, finds Farrow, who's been in a great run of form. Dispossessed neatly in the middle of the park by Apollonia. Victory with a bit of comfortable possession. It's picked up easily by Glory. Aquino doesn't muck around with it. Farrow coming deep to collect, and she's fouled. Well, of course, Millie Farrow, excuse me, she's been in a wealth of form, hasn't she?
Oh, excellent form. She's got an enormous work rate on and off the ball. Her forward runs are something that opens up spaces for others. We know that when she drops into those midfield areas, as you can see in the replay, she looks to try and secure the football there and link with others. So I think in terms of creating opportunities for Perth Glory, she's been immense. And now it's about having a little bit more composure for her in key moments in front of the goal.
Well, Kellen Knight was just nipped in the middle of the park there. A victory free kick, but I have to say given away a little loosely, and Perth can regain possession. Jess Cowart has been excellent at the back for Parkes' side. Here's Lowry. Lovely technician, looking for the through ball. That one's a little narrow, it's picked up. And Chidiac can stream forward, finds the feet of the Matilda's teammate in Kellen Knight. Checker, nice ball forward. Chidiac broaches into the 18-yard box. Searching for a shot away, but it's closed down well by the Glory.
And as you can see, Chidiac at the top of the 18-yard box there. She's on her favoured left foot. Excellent defending by the Perth Glory defender. We know the innovativeness of Alex Chidiac when she's on the ball. She's a clever player. She's a good dribbler. So certainly something the Perth Glory defenders are going to have to be mindful whenever she's in that front third area of.
Well, mindful too, they'll have to be of victory off corners. 4 goals they've scored this season as Alana Murphy drives in across. Knocked away by the Glory quite comfortably. Glory winding up again, Murphy. Lowry looks to poke away, but Glory have done well. Morrison can line up. A bit of a fumble by Aquino. She does enough to see it out, but nervy moments for Glory in this opening 10 minutes. Had to deal with just a little bit of pressure at times. The youngster Claudia Miocic has become a centrepiece at the back there alongside Jess Cowart. And again, this Perth defence is put under just a little bit of pressure. Cassidy does well. Is fouled in the end, but Georgia Cassidy, the 18-year-old, she's announced herself on the A-League stage this season.
She has. She's a tremendous young talent. She's been involved in our young Matildas setup, our junior Matildas setup previously. She's Western Australia born and bred. Perth Glory through and through, Grace.
Oh, great to see. And doing good things on the stage for Perth Glory too. Just tidy under pressure as the 18-year-old.
She is, and you can see on the replay the confidence of a young player to want to be able to dribble out of pressure and use her individual technique there is what sets Georgia apart from others.
Nice ball breaking through the victory midfield, but that one's poked away, this time by Rankin. The 20-year-old, she's just one of 2 players, as we mentioned, who's played all minutes for Jeff Hopkins this year, both Rankin and Morrison, the captain. But now Perth have a chance to break. Lowry opts to go back, but Tash Rigby, ever the willing runner, she can drive forward.
And there's the opportunities Perth need to make the most of when the victory fullbacks are high and wide and caught out of position, given that predominantly there's a back 3 with this victory side. They're the spaces to attack and attack them quickly.
Well, possession just edging in victory's favour at the moment. But Perth at the moment with a comfortable spell. Farrow's done well. First time shot from Lowry. Doesn't do so much as troubling victory, but they've got a bit of work to do here. Alex Chidiac with some defensive duties. Dalton. Rigby. Izzy Dalton opts to concede a bit of territory, and Kazada do the same. That's a poor giveaway in the middle of the park, and Rachel Lowe can look to spring an attack. Mackenzie Wynett, well, she's been excellent for Victory. What can she produce on this left foot? Gets the strike away. Doesn't have the purchase behind it, but she's looked good for Jeff Hopkins' side this year.
And this is where Wynett can be dangerous. She's a both-footed player, so whether she plays on the left or the right side, she predominantly does cut inside quite often, which at times actually causes Victory to be a little bit too narrow. This particular moment, it was the right decision. She cuts inside, and now it's just about the quality and execution of her shot there.
Which has been a great pickup for Jeff Hopkins this year. Victory on the attack again. That ball is searching once more for Wynett to Aquino. Well, it's good passing accuracy to begin the match. Shows that a lot of passes are hitting the intended outcome.
Yeah, a big improvement from previous matches where the expectation is, with the quality of players that are out there, especially for Melbourne Victory, that becomes the norm and a consistency for them.
Courtney Newbon with some important touches, of course. Victory today without the vastly experienced Lydia Williams. We saw her substituted off last week. Looked like an ankle injury, which is a shame to see for Williams. And Courtney Newbon, well, she started the season off with the Central Coast Mariners, played 4 games there, did very well. Was brought in as an injury replacement player at Central Coast, and then as a free agent, it was Victory who have picked her up, and now she's been called into action early doors. Kellen Knight. Good pressure by Jale and Lowry. Here's Farrow. That pass a little soft. You hear the shouts from the sideline. Parkus asking his players to keep the ball. Millie Farrow will no doubt be wanting to add to her goal haul this season. 6 for the season so far. Each one of Perth's last 6 goals have been scored by Millie Farrow. Checker looking forward. Wynett is checked inside. Returns a favour to Checker. Good ball through. Checker cross into the box. First time shot by Lowe. It's lacking the attention it needed, but it's picked up well again by Murphy. A hefty challenge outside the 18-yard box. Players still down. Caitlin Williams does call a halt to proceedings here as Millie Farrow, well, she went to ground and she stayed there. She didn't get up, and she's certainly the kind of player who looks to continue when they can, as we have a look back at this chance here.
And Mia Jitch's positioning there as a centre-back is excellent. She's protecting the central goal zone. She's able to clear the danger, and then we've seen where the ball's arrived in the second phase, where Farrow's just retreated to try and pick up the ball there, and she doesn't look like it's anything too serious, which is what we all want to see.
Not the kind of player to stay down too much, as we'll get another look at the contact here. Just looking to clear as she's coming to some hefty contact with Alana Murphy, but of course Millie Farrow, she too is vastly experienced. 27 years old, English, and spent some time at Chelsea, Bristol City, Reading, most recently with the North Carolina Courage in the NWSL, and has really hit a goal-scoring straps in recent weeks for the Glory.
She has, and with what we know of Alana Murphy's striking ranges, I don't blame her for not pulling out of the tackle and coming in at full speed to prevent Murphy from getting a strike on goal there.
Oh, you can see the stud marks on that left knee as Millie Farrow takes to the sideline, has to come off as she's received treatment from the physio, and that one hurts.
It certainly does, and you can see on the screen a little bit of blood there on the shin that will need to be removed before she gets back out on the pitch, but also very good to see that it's nothing too serious.
Well, it was a good build-up from Victory, nice give and go. And Rachel Lowe, who also has her scoring boots on this season for the Victory, as you see that contact there, yeah, that one does hurt.
And she comes out at good speed, she's brave, she does everything required in and around that 18-yard box to prevent a strike from Murphy.
here's Victory, looking to drive forward yet again. Chidiac trying to find an option. Rankin. Apollonia gets the ball a little caught under her feet, but finds a pass in Morrison and out to Hansen. Hansen can drive into space, but the pass is blocked well by Dalton. Early ball in to the box from Checker. Morgan Aquino is up to task, as she has been all season. And the 22-year-old in Morgan Aquino, she's keeping at bay Sally James, another talented young goalkeeper in the country. And really just speaks to the season that Aquino is having.
And as you can see on the replay, Victory are looking to utilise those wider areas with the delivery of Checker nice and high there, and I think that's going to be an added dimension to their game today that'll work quite nicely against this Perth Glory setup to create greater opportunities.
They certainly look to be sending numbers high and wide, Victory. Well, the last time these two teams faced each other was earlier in the season, in fact. The result that day could not be separated. It was a 2-2 draw and 2 braces for the day. For Victory, it was Rachel Lowe. And for the Perth Glory, well, it was indeed Hannah Lowry. An exciting match, that one. As Victory looked to break, and no doubt want to make a little more of today's result. I'm sure neither side wanting to walk away with just the 1 point. Early ball by Hansen is good to find Checker. Wynett. Well, Victory have had the better of the chances in the final third. 3 shots to Perth's 1. Fair to say a lot of the play has been in Victory's attacking half.
Definitely greater amount of chances and better territory by this Victory side. For Perth Glory, when they are breaking forward, they need to break forward quicker. They need to send more numbers forward as well, and just create some quicker support around the ball carrier to help advance the ball from that middle to front third.
Perth at the moment just struggling to get out of their own defensive half, and that pass is not going to help the situation. Here's Chidiac looking for the centering ball to Davalonia, but only finds a Perth shirt. Here's Lowry, close attention of Davalonia. Farrow, good to see she's back on the field of play. Murphy can look forward. Nice piercing pass. Nothing gives, says Caitlin Williams. Kazada, she can break through Lowry. Lowry scanning, looking for an option. Nice little touch inside and a good ball too, but Kazada needed to come to that one. Morrison back to her centre-half pairing in Tori Hansen for this afternoon. Of course, Tori Hansen, well, a Tar Heel no less, the University of Northern Carolina in the United States. Most recently with the Orlando Pride in the NWSL, and has come over to Australia on loan. And she replaced in today's starting side young Jess Nash, who looked to pick up a knock last week.
Yeah, we saw her pick up a knock in last week's game, and I'm sure young Jessica Nash is at home and doing everything she can to get back onto the pitch. She's a leader, she's our young Matildas captain, and she'll be doing everything right to get back out there.
Well, Kazada and Jale weren't quite on the same page for that one. Kellen Knight can turn out and slow things down for Victory.
And Victory really struggling to break down this Perth Glory press. You can see that they're preventing passes into central areas. In terms of the Perth setup, the 2 central strikers are very narrow, which makes the opportunity for either Kellen Knight or Murphy to actually get on the ball. As you can see, if they're patient and they can play angled passes, then that's going to be the outlet.
Well, that's exactly the ball they found there in Alana Murphy. Good pressure coming here from victory as Dapolonia streams forward, finds a little 1-2 with Wynett. And Checker high and wide as she has been for large parts of this opening 20 minutes. Morrison twists and turns and loses the attention of Grace Jarley. Of course, Grace Jarley, the 24-year-old, well, she started her A-League career at the Wellington Phoenix and had a season 2 at Canberra United before opting to call Perth home.
Yeah, she's certainly moved around a little bit, and by all indications, you'd say the start of Jarley's season, she may have found her place and her home in Perth. She was initially in quite good form for Jarley. It's just adding a bit more consistency. So each week we know what Jarley is going to turn up. Is it the pacey attacker who's going to get in behind and be a real headache for defenders, or is it going to be the attacker who kind of floats in and out of games? She needs greater game impact.
Well, no doubt she'll want to improve on that consistency. As we have a look at this coming together, it was Tash Rigby a little late to the challenge on Alex Chidiac, who's left her with a bit of a sore ankle. And this really suggests the dominance we've seen from Melbourne Victory. The passing accuracy into the final third. And they're going to have an opportunity to build on that as they set up for a free kick, and Perth have a little more defending to do here. Murphy delivers in, good driving ball. No Victory shirts to find the end of the delivery nonetheless, so Aquino, easy pickings. Is Cassidy. Switches the play through Anton. Anton fends off one. Nice reverse ball from Farrow. Jarley can drive forward. Hanson's up to task. Had to be as well. That's better from Perth.
It isn't. This will be the key for this Perth Glory side when they are changing sides and able to break in wider areas. You can see Anton, great use of her body there. Fantastic, well-weighted pass into the path of Farrow, and the reverse pass is just class. For Jarley, it's just taking that first touch inside across the defender and keeping her body between her and the football so she can't get a touch in there.
It was Perth's first touch they've had in the opposition box this afternoon. It's taken 23 minutes to get there as Alex Aparkas, the 32-year-old coach, it's his 4th season in charge at the Glory. Early ball crossed into the box. Lowry props for a moment and Morrison nips just in front to clear, but it's fallen back to Rigby. Dalton concedes a bit of territory. Cassidy again. Coward. And she was offered the space and opted to take it, trying to find the pass to Anton, but it was picked off well in the end by Wynett. Nice little touches there by Dapolonia and a cynical foul from Georgia Cassidy. Last word of warning, I'd say, from Caitlin Williams to young Cassidy. You can see this little sweepy leg there.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised a card wasn't produced in that moment. I think a little bit of lashing out by the youngster there that's unnecessary at that point.
Nodded on. Rigby just hooks for ground and Rankin works hard to close down. Jarley a little late to the action there. It will be another Victory free kick. And of course, this weekend's fixtures all taking place across New South Wales. 24 teams from both the men's and women's competitions touching down in Sydney. 12 games, 3 stadiums, 3 days. But for now, our focus here is on Mackenzie Wynett, who looks to sweep in an early ball. Apollonia drives through, scuffs her touch, a prime opportunity for Melbourne Victory that built so nicely through Mackenzie Wynett.
Excellent build-up by Melbourne Victory, and definitely a scuffed opportunity for Apollonia. You see Wynett, she's so dangerous when she can drive into space towards defenders. The initial cross isn't the best, but the second phase of that finds her Victory teammate, who's just off balance and scuffs that shot.
We saw the old double touch there. The standing foot just prodded the ball away. It'll be a frustrating one for Apollonia. And what was built into, you'd suggest, the clearest opportunity yet for Victory. 4 fouls apiece each side. Apollonia will get another chance, strikes early. Had Aquino a little worried. She'd love to make amends for that moment just earlier.
She would, and just in terms of Apollonia, we know that she's been the most subbed on player for Melbourne Victory in this midfield area. She hasn't created any goal scoring chances. She's got no assist and no goals. So I think for a player like this, we're going to be wanting, and an international, we're going to be wanting more from her, more end product.
And just a third start today for Sarah Apollonia, the 24-year-old American. Of course, you want a lot of productivity from your international players. Here's Alana Murphy. That pass is read well by Lowry. Rankin continues her run, and ball's returned from Chidiac, who does the same. Chidiac checks back in. Close attention from Rigby. 2 purple shirts. Back to Rankin. Rankin early ball in on that left foot. Good challenge. Calls for a head knock from the sideline, but both players are back to their feet. Chidiac. Fallen again to Apollonia, just inside the box. Perth have to be careful here. Rankin on her preferred left foot. Ball dinked into the box and it's in the back of the net. It's calamity for Perth. Miscommunication, Rachel Lowe. Well, she's having a flying season for Melbourne Victory. And for her 6th of the season, she welcomes the start of Unite round with a wave to the crowd and the Victory in front.
And that's a superb delivery by Jamila Rankin. We've touched on the benefit of having a left-footed player on that side. It's well weighted, it's into a dangerous area. Lowe just drifts into that back post area. She's unmarked, and it's an excellent finish by Rachel Lowe.
Well, what a season she is having. The 23-year-old, 23 on the back of the shirt. And it looked as though Jess Cowart, the Perth defender, just lost the flight of the ball, and the slightest of touches, the glancing header from Rachel Lowe, nestles into the back of the net. 6 goals, 1 assist for the season.
Correct. Misjudged header by the centre-back, and in terms of Anton, she just has to be aware of Lowe as that free player and either get back into a better defensive position or communicate her positioning to her central defender.
Well, Perth are looking for a quick response. Here's Rigby driving forward, glances up, looks for an early cross in. Defensive duties done well at the other end by Jamila Rankin. And the captain, Tash Rigby, keen to take things into her own hands and turn this around.
And I think that's why, and what we know about Rigby, Grace, week in, week out, she looks to take the game on her shoulders and make things happen for Perth Glory, and it's a tremendous skill as a leader that she possesses.
2 hands in the air. Hannah Lowry, ball into the box is nodded away from Hansen. Chidiac on the counter. Looks to get the early release pass, but Millie Farrow does a wealth of work. That's a little short. Aquino's well off her line. Long sweeping clearance, and it's fallen just back to the feet of Alex Chidiac. Here's Kellen Knight. That pass a little difficult for her teammate to deal with. Jale. Lowry picks the ball up in a nice bit of space. Jale has pulled wide. Cuts in on her right, bit of traffic. Trying to get the shot away, but Victoria defending well, flooding the area.
They are, and a little bit narrow by Perth Glory right now in terms of their positioning. They need to position players in wider areas. If they are going to change sides quickly and use the full width.
And what is perhaps a little impatient dink over the top from Georgia Cassidy. You see the idea was there, but didn't have much space to operate in.
Yeah, correct. Very few Perth Glory players on that last line making forward runs, and not a lot of space for them to receive into.
Nice little give and go between Chidiac and Rankin. Of course, it was Rankin's assist, and you spoke about her excellent left foot, which found the head of Rachel Lowe.
Oh, it's tremendous. We know that Jamila Rankin actually grew up as a winger, so she's not shy of those front third actions, delivering or dribbling, and now she's deployed as a wing back or a left fullback. We've even seen her as a left-sided centre back at times. So it's just the benefit of being a technically very, very good defender.
Well, she spent 4 seasons at Brisbane Roar. But again, that stat, looking at the passes into the final third, again speaks to what we're seeing on the scoreboard. Melbourne Victory having a lot more success in these areas of the field. Mackenzie Wynett gets a little ahead of her own touch. Lowry back doing defensive duties. Wynett on the left foot. And that one is cleared away from Cowart. There's Lowry. Does well to find Jale, who's retreated to support the play. Good physicality in the middle of the park from Rankin, but Perth have almost won possession back.
And this Perth side are really pinned in at the moment because of this Melbourne Victory pressure. They're able to get their sixes on the ball, but it's that pass forward where they're a little bit narrow with the 2 central strikers. Farrow's coming very deep, which makes it even more crowded in there. I would like to see them stretch this Melbourne Victory side.
Well, Victory have done well to regain possession and happy to concede a little territory as Newbon gets things underway quickly. Here's Rankin. Little flick around the corner from Chidiac, and Dabalonia can look to drive forward. Early ball on the left foot. That one a little wasteful. Didn't quite have the shape on the delivery it needed, and Perth can pick up and settle into their shape again. Anton back to Cowart. He's got Lowe pressuring. A positive touch from Lowry. Miocic, she can drive into space. Just sets the ball back for Doughton. Well, Perth just happy to hold, and as Rachel Lowe angles her run, forces Perth down one channel. That's picked up well by Chidiac. A great ball winner in the middle of the park. Scoops over the top. And what was a good idea for Wynett, but couldn't get an outstretched leg to the pass.
It was a great idea by Chidiac, and it's why she's such an exciting player, to be dribbling and on the move there and actually scoop that ball up. It's an exceptional technique, and it's why we have our Matilda on display right now.
And it's moments like that that can open up a side, but for now, Victory have some defending to do, and it's Emma Checker, who uses her body well. That distribution not quite dialed in from Newbon. Rigby again just trying to hurry things along for Perth. Miocic. Nice play out of pressure from the Glory girls. Lovely 1-2 touch football. Anton searching for the run of Lily Farrow, and well, she is ever the willing runner, towed away by Hansen. And Kellen Knight. Oh no, she's returned from A tremendous Achilles injury. Great to see her back out on the park, playing more regular football.
It is, and she's an exceptional leader around the squad. We know that she's bringing young players under her wing, having been a Matilda and plied her trade all over the world. So she's a top professional and a great addition to this A-League.
Oh, she's just class. Over 100 Matilda's caps. Feels as though she's growing back in confidence and growing back into this side for Jeff Hopkins, a 33-year-old. Such a key part of this Victory midfield, and as you mentioned, her leadership and experience, well, that'll be important in keeping this result at bay tonight for Melbourne. Nice ball from Checker. Here's Murphy. That pass. A little too much spice on it for Wynett. She's quick. She's not that quick.
She is just a little overhit there. We know that Wynett likes to receive it at feet and dribble, and so these are actually good midfield areas for her to pick the ball up if they can find her feet in these wider areas.
Liz Anton's just been told to take the throw back a little. New Zealand international. Here's Jarlow. A little drop of the shoulder. Wynett, a little handsy on Lowry on that occasion.
And there's that maturity and experience on show from Kellen Knight with just putting the ball back where the foul occurred. You can see Larry, she does really well to get her body between the ball and the defender, and then just a little bit handsy by Wynett there, but nothing malicious at all.
It's Rachel Lowe here leading the line for Victory, and she'll just dictate the way that she wants the Perth players to play out. Good pressure from Wynett, and Victory have done well to win back the ball. Well, it's an agricultural challenge there from Anton, and she let Wynett know about it. Here's Farrow. That pass a little short. There will be a free kick for Perth. Bit of frustration just starting to settle in late into this half. Caitlin Williams is going to come over for a chat.
Yeah, and you can see, I'm sure Melbourne Victory are calling there for the two-handed push in the back by Anton after the fact.
Well, Hannah Lowry, she'll switch that out quickly. Rigby, drive into space. Chidiac just closing the distance. Good solid challenge from Kazada. Lowry, lovely first time, and she'll hit this on her left foot. Delightful left foot she has, Hannah Lowry. Low little check over the shoulder, and possession can't be split between the two as we tick closer and closer to the halfway mark. What is a warm afternoon at Leichhardt Stadium, 28 degrees.
It is, and it's matches like this that you want to have the ball. A lot less energy is expended when you're keeping it and you're moving it and you're letting the football do the work for you. A lot harder if you're chasing on a day like today.
Poked forward from Cassidy. Jarley, bit of work to do here. Started away by Hansen as Wynett stretches the field wide. Low, back to Hansen. Morrison. Checker in that advanced position again. Nice little drop of the shoulder from Rachel Lowe. Kazada just popping out of her line to put a bit of pressure. You can hear the shouts from the sideline to step. And when one goes like that, they've all got to go. Chidiac's done well. Murphy back to Morrison. Checker down the line for Wynett, asking a bit of her. This is proving to be a really good battle between Mackenzie Wynett and Liz Anton. Neither player taking a backward step.
And I think just the physicality of both players is going to make it a good matchup today. We know that they're speedy. We know that Anton's a tough, really good individual defender. So really looking forward to seeing how this plays out between the two.
A searching ball into the box is poked away from Perth. Millie Farrow can look to break. Just off screen, Tori Hansen struggling to get back into position. She'll be relieved to see Victory push forward, but she looks to be in a bit of trouble. It's a 41 final third entries for Victory, and this is a concerning sign for Tori Hansen, the American. We saw her after the last passage of play. She just sort of propped for a moment and couldn't get herself back into defensive shape.
And this could be a concern for Melbourne Victory with the omission of Jessica Nash. If we look at their bench, there aren't too many out-and-out defenders. We know that Rosie Curtis can possibly play there, but she's been deployed as a midfielder, as a winger, all over the shop this season for them. So I wouldn't say that's the answer with great conviction. Outside of that, there may need to be a bit of a reshuffle of the deck where Jamila Rankin maybe comes in to that back three and Privatelli is used in a wider area.
I'm sure it's a welcome drinks break for both sides. As we mentioned, the heat this afternoon a factor. But you're right, looking at Melbourne Victory's bench today, Emily Gilnick, we know, a striker. Paige Zoyce, midfielder, Leah Privatelli, either in the midfield or up front. And as you mentioned, Rosie Curtis could play defensively if needed, but has largely played in the midfield. And, well, there's a name, Georgia Candy, the 22-year-old, called into the squad today. She's a Kiwi, played one appearance last year for the Wellington Phoenix. And taking to the bench today to the Melbourne Victory, of course, with both Lydia Williams and Miranda Templeman unavailable.
Yeah, and I think if we were to deploy, say, a Rosie Curtis or a Paige Zoyce in an unnatural position, they're both great technicians. So you know that Victory's build-up will be stable in those moments. It's just some of the defensive positioning stuff that would be questionable.
Well, there is the aforementioned Emily Gilnick. Great to see her back in the matchday squad. I'm sure she'll be keen for a few minutes. Was that poked forward by Tash Rigby? Position well, Kayla Morrison. Nice little drop of the shoulder and she can find herself a bit of space. Here's Alana Murphy. Great passing range and distribution. That one asking a little much of Wynett. Cassidy with time and space to pick out a pass, and she switches the field well. Chidiac having to do the defensive duties as Rigby takes the space in front of her. Dalton, searching ball over the top, is headed away by Morrison.
And this Perth Glory side, they just seem to be still too narrow in build-up. They're breaking into these midfield areas and they really don't have wide options, and I think a lot of it has to do with how they're set up in this 4-4-2 with sort of unnatural players like Hannah Lowry in these wide areas and Quesada who aren't really going to break at speed and create that width.
Rankin looking to help on for Chidiac, but the work's going to be cut out for her with the engine of Tash Rigby ever present. It's a nice switch from Miocic. Here's Anton. Lowry scanning forward.
Just a halfway for me, thanks. Cheers.
Anton with the throw as Quesada helps on to Jale. She can exploit the space in front, and Tash Rigby to drive into. Gets a shot away early. Doesn't hook her foot around it in the way she would have liked, as the fourth official, Michaela Ryan, indicates there will be 4 minutes of stoppage time to be played.
And I do think that's the right idea by Perth Glory in that moment. If they can spring more athletic players such as Rigby and Anton into those wider areas faster, then they're going to have a lot more success in those wide areas. And then now it's just about the quality of that delivery of Rigby slowing down once you've sped up, and a bit of composure there.
It's a good helping header on, but cut out well by Cowart. He finds Cassidy in a really good patch of space. That ball looking to split the defence, and does so, but Newbon, oh, she's off her line well. And Perth Glory to spring the attack. You can hear the shouts of Alex Apakis on the sideline, pushing Hannah Lowry on. It's dropped well to Kazada. Eyes up, gets a shot away. Good strike. Well, it had Courtney Newbon beaten. And the praise for Hannah Lowry, the pressure that coughed up possession, and Kazada, well, that's her best look at goal so far.
Oh, it definitely is, and you can see the awareness of the player to receive it on the half turn, so she's facing forward. She has a look, she sees Newbon off her line. It's the right decision. It's just about the quality and execution with her technique in that moment, so it's on target.
Nonetheless, a good look for Perth Glory. Kazada yet to score this season for the Glory in her first year in the Liberty A-League. As part of the Philippines women's national team. Californian born, but represents the Filipinas as part of the 2023 World Cup too. As 2 minutes of the stoppage time has elapsed, and Perth happy just to hold on to possession, but Victory too, trying to press in those spaces. That's fallen kindly to Rigby. She'll opt for the throw-in. Kazada back to Rigby. Dalton switches well to Cowart. Anton. Nice build up here from Perth. Solid challenge from Wynett. Well read by Cowart. Rigby is always finding this good space out on her attacking right side. 3 minutes of stoppage time elapsed. Just 60 seconds to see if Perth can make something of this, as they have possession. Dalton looking for the option. Lily Farrow takes the space, but the offside flag will be raised.
And that's a really clever step by the Melbourne Victory backline to have Farrow offside there. You can see that they're communicating, they're stepping at the right time. Good defensive positioning by them.
Well, it had to be as well, otherwise Lily Farrow, she's in a dangerous spate of form. As you imagine, this may be close to the last passage of play before Caitlin Williams looks to call a break at half-time. And there is the half-time whistle here at Leichhardt Stadium. A warm afternoon and a Rachel Lowe goal in her 6th of the season. Well, that goal, the difference going into the break at half-time. As both teams go into the shed. It's Melbourne Victory 1, Perth Glory 0. Although not much in the way of goal scoring for the first half, it wasn't a half without its highlights.
Oh, it certainly wasn't. You can see the clever build-up by Wynett here with the little give and go with Checker. In terms of Melbourne Victory, definitely looking a little bit more fluid in this front third, which is pleasing.
Just a couple of nervy moments for Perth. Just hesitant moments of indecision that led to more clear-cut chances for Melbourne victory.
And this is the excellent delivery by Jamila Rankin. She gets her head up. She's aware of Rachel Lowe's positioning, the height that's whipped in at it, and with the good pace. Brilliant delivery by Rankin, and for Lowe, she's in the right place at the right time, and she heads it in on goal.
She has been so many times this season. Rachel Lowe leads the line for the Melbourne victory. As we have a look at the half-time match stats, well, we saw throughout the first half, possession couldn't really be cleared between the two, but when we look at shots and shots on target, well, there's more of the story there.
Yeah, definitely better territory gained with the possession Melbourne victory have had. The challenge for Perth Glory in this second half will to spend more time in that front third creating chances.
0 shots on target so far for Perth Glory. I'm sure something that Alex Aparkas will be chatting about at half-time and looking to turn around. We're off to a short break, but don't go anywhere. We have a big half of football coming up just on the other side. Well, welcome back to Leichhardt Stadium. The very first game of Unite round, and just one goal separating these two sides. And Rachel Lowe, well, she can put her name down in the stats book. The very first goal scored in Unite round, and it belongs to this woman right here, Rachel Lowe, for her 6th of the season. The cross from Jamila Rankin, well, that was timed, weighted to perfection, evaded the head of Jess Cowett, who's otherwise been flawless at the back for Perth Glory. And this all that's separating the sides at half-time on a warm afternoon at Leichhardt Stadium. Perth Glory, final chats, final huddles before the second half kickoff. From first glance, no changes made at the half-time break for the Glory girls. But a big 45 minutes of football coming up for Alex Apakis' side. Plenty of fans piling in, which is fantastic to see here at Leichhardt Stadium. Matilda shirts, brilliant. Oh, what a wonderful event across the weekend. 12 matches, all 24 teams descending into Sydney, playing across Leichhardt, Allianz, Combank Stadium, both men's and women's competitions here for the very first time. Fantastic to see. 3 days packed with football can only be described as, well, a football festival. And what a way to get it underway here, as Leichhardt does start to fill up, of course. Another game following immediately after this one, as Wellington Phoenix play the Central Coast Mariners at Leichhardt Stadium too. So flick over for that. If you're not at the ground, if you're watching on Paramount Plus, you won't want to miss that one. So for that first 45 minutes, Leah Blaney alongside me in commentary today. Well, we know Melbourne Victory have lost their last 3 on the trot. How important a performance and a result is this game today?
That result's extremely important for Melbourne Victory. With the quality of players out there, we're going to set the bar high. So the expectation is that they can come away with 3 points today. They've been a little bit more fluid in their play going forward, which is pleasing to see. But we're going to want more goals and to build on this performance in the second half.
Well, I mentioned earlier in the call that the last time Perth, or Melbourne Victory rather, had lost 4 in a row was back in December 2016. And that 4th loss was at the hands of Perth Glory. Whether or not Jeff Hopkins knows that, I don't think matters too much. What's important for him this afternoon is a result. 3 points, goals in the back of the net, and he's in a good position so far, but no doubt he'll want to build on this as Perth Glory get us underway for the second half. Just a little bit of shade starting to edge over this near side at Leichhardt Stadium, I'm sure, much to the reprieve of Tash Rigby for Perth Glory and Hannah Lowry, who's running the left flank today.
And just on that, interesting to see if Perth Glory do change anything in this second half tactically. Not convinced by how they've been set up this match in terms of positioning of some key players and those kind of things. So really interesting to see what substitutions are made. How do they better utilise possibly a bit more pace in wider areas and get their players that can pull the strings more central.
A little slip by Anton, but she recovers well. Cowett can clear for distance. This time Jale, she can turn and run at speed. Cuts in on her right. Looking for a little bit of support. Drops back to Kazada. Lowry on the left foot. Lowry driving into the box. Hannah Lowry gets the shot away. Courtney Newman down early to collect. Well, for Perth, they're most prolific. In this first 15 minutes after half-time, they've scored most of their goals across the season. Over 30%, in fact, in this next 15-minute passage. So something that Melbourne Victory are going to have to be keenly aware of. And that start, a good driving run forward from Hannah Lowry, suggesting perhaps that they're up to task. Chidiac finds a run of Low. Idea was right, but asking a bit of Wynett. Tidy touches for Melbourne Victory. Here's Chidiac and Lowe. Good technicians. Nice ball inside from Kellen Knight. Lowe swivels on the ball. Kellen Knight on her left foot. Looks to slide the pass to Wynett, but it's met by Cassidy. Composed play, out of pressure from Perth. And Miotric will clear just to relieve a bit of pressure. Oh, it's a heavy challenge. Solid coming together between Jamila Rankin and Quinley Quezada. That's a point-blank range for both players. The clearance from Rankin straight into the body of Quezada, and then you can see as the momentum carries Quezada through. No malice meant by either player, but that one does hurt.
It's certainly just an awkward collision there, and it looks to be that Rankin's up on her feet and good to go, and we're hoping the same for Quezada there, who you can see she just cops that ball from Rankin in that facial area, and it's definitely one that'll sting.
Bit of an awkward one, but great to see both players back to their feet. As Morgan Aquino, well, that pass won't quite do to Anton. Wynett can drive forward, just looking for a bit of support. That's a tug back from Liz Anton. It will be a free kick for Melbourne Victory. She puts her hands up, protests in innocence, but it looks as a clear foul as anything.
Yeah, a clear-cut foul by Anton there from me. You can see Wynett, she's clever. She steps in front of the defender, which you have two options. You slow down or you foul. So really good action by Wynett in that front third to win her side a free kick in a very dangerous area.
Yeah, smart by Wynett, invites the contact, and Anton, well, that battle between those two has started in the second half exactly as it finished off, and Kellen Knight will be the one to deliver on this free kick. Kellen Knight lofts into the box, far post, has a little bit too much on it. Hanson the target, it floats over her head.
And you can see Kellen Knight's intent there. It's a delivery to that far post area. Hanson a little bit narrow, so probably inside a little bit too early. She's just got to time her rung and hang out a bit further and then come in and make connection with it.
That's a great ball forward from Georgia Cassidy. Quezada looks to sweep out wide to Rigby, but Victory have done well to pick the ball up in midfield. Just assessing her options. Prodded forward by Lowe, handy ball. And across into the box too from Rankin, and Wynett's there at the far post to collect. A little bit much watching going on from the Perth Glory defenders there.
And that's a really nice passage of play in that build-up on that left side. I'm liking these combinations between Chidiac, Lowe and Rankin. You've got three good technicians providing quick support for each other so they can play out of the pressure there. And then it's just about the delivery here into the central goal zone area.
You can see the hesitation from Morgan Aquino. Not sure whether to stay or to come out and collect, and ultimately neither happened. Wynett not too far off. And the good news for Perth is that they're not a bad team when they do go down for first and concede first in the game. Well, the 4 times they've done so, they've gone on to win 2 of those. So able to come back under a little adversity.
They are. I think they quite like that space. They roll their sleeves up. They get stuck in. They seem to be a better performing team in the second half for whatever reason when they're chasing the game. And we know that the available subs that Apakas has on hand in Fong Song Cam and Sakalis in particular can add to this Perth Glory attack.
Oh, that's a good point. The handy bench there for Alex Apakas this afternoon. Plenty of options to come on, and that's just experience there from Millie Farrow. Inviting the contact, knowing that it was coming from Hanson, and goes to ground.
Yeah, extremely clever by the forward there in that moment. She can feel and hear Hansen coming in that moment and just makes the most of the opportunity there.
Oh, 8 fouls in the afternoon for Victory and 7 for Perth. It's been a fair arm wrestle of a match so far. Lowry just looking to pull apart this defence. There's a strong touch, a heavy one from Anton. She's let herself down on that occasion.
And it's a shame in terms of the touch there by Anton, the weight of the pass by Lowry, and I've touched on the importance of having left-footed players on the left side that can play balls down the line like that. It's an exceptional technique.
It's high press here from Perth, and it's worked. Victory cough up possession. Perth in their attacking half where they want to be. They didn't spend a huge amount of the first 45 minutes in their attacking half. It was largely up at Melbourne Victory's end of things. And perhaps that was part of the conversation, is a bit of retaliation here from Millie Farrow, a push from Kayla Morrison. Caitlin Williams is quick to the scene to defuse the situation.
Yeah, and a little bit of frustration by Farrow. Morrison's just sold it down the river there with that turn, so I'm sure that adds to that retaliation. But for me, a little bit more composure from Farrow. It's not the way to sort of handle that.
All these little battles just starting to unfold across the field. And of course, 2 experienced players in Farrow and Morrison. One to keep an eye on. Here's Cowan. Upchurch's pass is a little short. Murphy tidies up. You just see as Perth just settle back into a defensive shape and allow that first and second pass from Victory, almost baiting them to try and find a way out. Oh, and that's worked again for Perth. Good defensive shape.
And Perth have done a really good job in those moments today to deny forward passes in central areas for this Melbourne Victory side. And you can see Chidiak's been deployed actually in a wider area, so possibly that's been tactical by Jeff Hopkins to get somebody like her on the ball in wider areas, knowing that Perth Glory may come out and deny passes central to her.
Throw from Jale. Chases her own throw down, and a bit of a long hit and hopeful ball. Miocic, she'll hand over the duties to Rigby for the throw in. Possession really just settled in, not much separating it at the moment. As I mentioned, a bit of an arm wrestle between these 2 sides this afternoon. Ubon sweeps away, and again, this shape from Perth is working well. Passing accuracy dropped off just a little from the first half, but by no means panic station. Still good quality from both sides. Rigby, again, looking to hurry things along for Perth. Miss Farrow around the corner, ideas right for Jale. Apollonia tidies up, as does Morrison. Just a little nip at the heels, and it will be a yellow card produced from Caitlin Williams. believe. Just this little lunge in here, and is Anton the recipient?
Yeah, just slightly from behind there, and why not to a dribbler? So any opportunity where she can do that, it's going to be difficult for the defenders to not foul or just allow her to dribble free in that central area if they don't.
That's one well in midfield. D'Apollonia gets a shot away. Aquino to ground early. Doesn't trouble the goalkeeper. But just a bit of space in the midfield as Victory picked the ball up in good spaces, and not a bad idea getting that shot away early.
No, it's an excellent space for D'Apollonia, and I think maybe now it's just that shot coming off with a little bit more conviction. She looks like she's in a little bit of two minds there. She's done well to receive it on the half turn and face forward. It's an opportunity for her to back herself.
And Farrow puts the head down, tries to drive forward, has two Victory players for attention. Remonstrating with referee Caitlin Williams. Well, it will be a Perth Glory free kick. So we have another look at this challenge, and Farrow's just asking the question of a foul, and ultimately she got one.
Yeah, possibly maybe a little bit of contact with the jersey from behind that the referee can see by Kellen Knight there on Farrow, but for me it actually didn't look like there was too much in it.
It'll be the left foot of Hannah Lowry, and two hands in the air to deliver. Good central ball in, nodded away by Victory, and Chidiac is trying to relieve the pressure for her side, just so much as just a throw in. Perth still in their attacking third. Farrow. I'd love to get her side back on level playing terms. And it will be a corner for Perth. Oh, it hasn't been their best attacking outlet of the season so far. Just one goal from a corner this season. And Hannah Lowry on the in-swinging left foot. Lowry, central ball into the box. It's a good ball, a great delivery. Hannah Lowry on the left boot. A magic moment for Perth Glory. Her third of the season, the midfield maestro, well, she's capable of those moments, and she's got her side back on level playing terms.
Fantastic delivery by Lowry, and you can see the humbleness and the awkwardness with her celebration there. It's whipped in. It's very difficult given the positioning of the sun right now. We know that Melbourne Victory are susceptible in defensive set-piece moments to goals this season, so very good taken strike by young Lowry.
And it did look as though it might have caught the slightest of glancing headers from Jamila Rankin as well. But Hannah Lowry, well, I think she can deserve to claim that one, but you're spot on, Leah. Melbourne Victory this season, well, that's the 5th goal they've conceded from a corner.
Correct, and even if it has copped a deflection from Rankin, the choice of it to be an in-swinger, the area of the field it was delivered, given the positioning of the sun right now, there's so much decision-making that actually goes into that delivery by Lowry.
Well, very nearly an Olympico. Helped on a little by Rankin, and she's unfortunate for her after what's been another really solid performance this afternoon. We'll have a look here on the replay.
And you can see Rigby does a really good job of not allowing Newborn the space and time to come out and collect that. When you crowd the goalkeeper, it makes it very difficult for them to defend that zone.
Well, as I mentioned, last time these two teams played each other, just earlier in the year, it was a 2-2 draw, and that day, 2 goals from Rachel Lowe, 2 goals from Hannah Lowry. Not to say that history's repeated itself, but these are familiar goal scorers.
And what better way to spend your night round with an exciting game on our hands, Grace? It's now 1-1, important match for both sides.
Just under 30 minutes of time to play, and it's normally around the 60-minute mark or thereabouts that coaches start to look to their benches, look to a bit of fatigue in the legs. That's a great ball out from Morrison. Rankin. She can connect with Lowe. Rigby for company. Here's Chidiac. Chidiac rolls out, back to low. A little feint of the hips, but nothing given. Farrow, she puts her head down. You can see the moment that she just puts the gas on the afterburners, can drive forward, and that will be a foul, surely. Caitlin Williams takes a moment, just assesses if advantage can be given, and no such case on that occasion, but that's a really good forward driving run from Millie Farrow.
It is, and this is the threat that Farrow provides with this Perth Glory side. She's able to pick the ball up in deeper areas. She's a good dribbler. She's super agile. So she's somebody who's going to really hurt defences in these moments and either get past them or draw fouls.
Well, she's getting a lot of attention this afternoon, Millie Farrow, and understandably so. 6 goals for the season. She'd love to add another to that tally here. Of course, it'll be left boot again of Hannah Lowry. Lowry to take, sweeping ball into the box. Falls to Wynett, who hooks it clear. Dalton and Cassidy. Miocic finds the feet of Cassidy again. I see the idea there from Cassidy, execution. Lets her down just slightly. Was looking for the run of Rigby, but didn't quite get her margins right. This is a good spell from Perth. A clearing ball from Kellen Knight. Miocic will get the shot away early. It's crossbar. And to the top of the net, well, Perth, they've got a sniff.
And that's a really good look by Miocic in that moment. We know the quality of this young defender. She's got excellent passing ranges. She's seen the GK off her line and she's had a crack. It's actually the right decision and a good opportunity for Perth Glory.
Well, it's opportunistic. Don't mind it from the youngster, Claudia Miocic, 20 years old. Nipped into a bit of space and got a decent shot away, denied only by the crossbar. 8 shots for Melbourne victory and just the 6 for Perth, but not much between these two sides this afternoon as Cowett doesn't take any risks.
There isn't, and Perth Glory have a little bit of the momentum right now. They've just scored a goal. They're peppering at the moment with shots like this we can see on screen from Miocic. For Melbourne victory, it's about getting a bit more composure and getting control of the game.
Murphy. Well, we know she's capable from distance. She's hit pearlers like that before, Alana Murphy.
She has. She's done it for our national team at youth level. She's done it in the Liberty A-League. Her striking ranges are well above her years, whether it's left or right foot. You can see her just changing feet there, and you don't want to give Alana Murphy any time at the top of the 18-yard box.
Absolutely not. Her vision and long-range passing range and shooting range is excellent, but for now she'll have a bit of defending to do as Perth look to stream forward. And there will be a first change for the afternoon. It's Jeff Hopkins who turns to his bench first to make the move, and it'll be the experienced Leah Privatelli to take the field. This is her 4th appearance of the season for Melbourne victory, but a servant and a one-club wonder to the victory shirt is Leah Privatelli, the 29-year-old. Bit of experience, fresh legs. Well, we mentioned before, she can be deployed both in the midfield and up top, and whatever task she's given to do, she does so willingly.
She can. She's got excellent speed. We know the work rate of Privatelli. It's great to see another Victorian on the field, given that previous to Privatelli coming on, we actually only had 2 players born in Victoria playing for Melbourne victory. So it'll be interesting to see how she can hurt Perth with her forward runs into space in behind.
And at least Kellen Knight, that'll be the end of her day. So we'll see just over the next couple of moments where Privatelli settles in. The final third entries really has evened out into this second half. In the first 45, it was largely Victory with the action in the final third. Perth have well and truly come back into this game. You mentioned, Leah, they're a much better second half team rather. And they've started this second 45 off brightly, but here's Wynett. Nice cut back to Lowe. First time strike on the left foot. There's been a few occasions Victory have built that kind of passage and haven't quite had that final pass.
Yeah, just a little bit under hit on the pass from Lowe, and you can see the advantages of having her almost as a false nine, where she can drop in between the lines, whether it's the middle or the front third, and just position herself in really good areas to receive.
And the ball from Wynett was handy as well. Cut out 3 or 4 Perth defenders in one fell swoop. That's a good run from Grace Jarley across the line. Can't secure possession. Just as the sun dips at Leichhardt Stadium, feels like there's just a little bit more energy about this game. Jeff Hopkins, the first of the managers to turn to his bench. Alex Epakis yet to make a change. Has some good options off the bench. Susan from Songkham, Sophia Sakalis, of course, a vastly experienced Sadie Lawrence, and the youngster in Grace Johnston.
Yeah, definitely good balance of players on the bench. He's got some dribblers, some excellent technicians, and then you've got some players who bring a little bit more athleticism at times if it's needed in a wide area. So very interesting to see when they're deployed. We know they are. There's a bit of a pattern here with how this Perth Glory setup operates week in, week out. So I dare say we'll see Sakalis or Fonsongkham added soon.
Well, almost spoke it into existence, Leah. Fonsongkham wading in the wings for Perth Glory.
And she's going to be a good addition because she's going to pick up the ball in these central corridors, and she's going to link up with Farrow and really be an issue for this Victory defence if she can face up and drive towards them.
For now, though, Perth with a bit of defending to do. Here's the fresh legs of Privatelli. Gets around one defender. The second touch a little heavy, and it's landed back in the lap of Hannah Lowry. Looking for an option forward, Lowry, but no shirts available. And they'll opt to go back and try and hold possession as Melbourne Victory just set up their defensive shape, and you can see Rachel Lowe just steering the direction of the play, making it predictable exactly as that for her team to defend.
Yeah, predictable by Perth Glory in that moment. A little bit static in the movement with the players ahead there for Cowart. She didn't have a lot of options, and that's something definitely moving forward they're going to look to improve on, so they can break lines and advance the ball into this front third.
Well, it will be Georgia Cassidy taking her leave. I'm not sure if she's aware that it's her number on the board coming off for Susan von Songkham. It was a double change indeed for Alex Epakis.
I think she might have been doing the ignore. Did you ever do that, Grace, when you were coming off? Pretend you didn't hear? I did.
Never, Leah. Georgia Cassidy, a wealth of work she's gotten through this afternoon. Doesn't look too pleased to be taking her spot on the bench, but do hope she's okay. And it will be Susan von Songkham coming onto the field of play. 3 goals for her season. Well, she started this year in really sparkling form from Songkham. 3 goals in the first 4 games. And today, well, it's her first appearance off the bench. She started every other match for Alex Epakis' side.
Real live wire. I've touched on her ability to dribble, and she's going to bring great energy. Defensively, she's sound. She's got a high work rate. And I think in terms of the other substitution in Grace Johnston, again, a player who's just going to give a added level of energy going forward to this Perth Glory side.
Well, here's a handy build-up for Glory. Ball through almost sneaks to Farrow. Still with Perth. Rigby drives forward, but it's desperation defending there needed to be as well. Liz Anton takes her spot on the bench for the afternoon. Also nursing that yellow card, perhaps a little bit of a tactical one, but Wynett, who has worked tirelessly this afternoon, doing the defensive duties as well. That's a great challenge.
Yeah, it's an excellent challenge, and I think one that's growing each week. I think she's a good addition to the A-League as an international player, good game impact, and when she does recover, she makes good decisions defensively with her individual tackles.
And Williams just having a little chat to players around the goalkeeper. And Morrison says, no, back you come. Oh no, off she trots. Curious. Nonetheless, here's Lowry. Sweeping ball into the cross, looking for a second. Nodded away from Victory. Checker with the arm around Rigby, but Rigby just loses her foot in. Victory throw. I wonder if Jeff Hopkins will take a gamble and we'll see the likes of Emily Gilnick with any minutes this afternoon. Well, there she is, getting prepared. And it is Apollonia who's made her way to the bench.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Possibly she's got jewellery on. That's the only thing I can think that maybe's just been picked up by the referee, given it didn't seem to be an injury.
And slipped through to Fonsonkamp. She can drive into the box. A well-timed challenge had to be. Will be another Perth corner. And when we mentioned coming into this game, they weren't great offset pieces in the Victory, but here is that change. And it will be Emily Gilnick returning to the field from Melbourne Victory. So wonderful to see the Matilda, vastly experienced, recovering from that calf injury, and wonderful to see her back out on the field of play and with a good 15 minutes or so to make an impact here for the Victory. But for now, it's a Perth Glory corner. Nodded away. Miocic looks to reload in, but Lowe has closed well, and here is Gilnick. She's brought to ground. And she most recently played in the Women's Super League in England with Aston Villa. And of course, returned to the Victory here in Australia. And went down a few weeks back with a really pesky calf injury that's kept her out until today.
And it's just superb to see Gilnick back on the pitch in her boots. We know to this game that she's going to bring pace, she's going to bring forward runs. She's a strong, powerful player.
An attacking change too for Jeff Hopkins. Apollonia playing a little deeper in the midfield, and Gilnick, well, wearing the number 9, playing in that number 9 striker's role. She'll look to make a nuisance of herself in this next 15 minutes.
Yeah, and I definitely think Jeff's probably gone to a bit more of a 4-3-3 setup here now with Murphy as the deep-lying 6, which, again, I think is a good tactical change based on the personnel out there right now.
Well, Victory, they've scored most of their goals. In fact, in these final 15 minutes of play coming up, of the 17 scored this season, 6 have come in this final 15-minute window. And Emily Gilnick will be looking to add to that tally. Good centering ball in, nodded away by Miocic. Lowe can wind one up, and that's a brilliant save. Morgan Aquino. You can see the reaction from Rachel Lowe. She hit that sweetly. It came off the boot, but Morgan Aquino, well, what a season she is having.
Oh, really well-struck ball by Rachel Lowe. It's a difficult angle and depth positioning of her to actually keep that down with that strike. And the save by Aquino, it hit the nail on the head. She's made saves like this all season. It's a fantastic reaction save.
Playing with confidence and authority is Morgan Aquino. The 22-year-old has a bit more work to do here. Murphy. Morrison, the target. Jale can hook that away over her head. And here's Chidiac. Farrow will be pulled up for the challenge. I don't think she meant anything by it, but she did catch the ankle of Alex Chidiac.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think she meant anything by it. And what a pest Farrow is. The defensive outputs from this striker. She's there, she's thereabouts, she's looking to always get her foot in. She certainly adds a lot of value on both sides of the ball for this Perth Glory side.
And we see Alexa Parker's turn to his bench again. It will be Izzy Dalton making her leave off the field, and Sadie Lawrence, the 30-year-old, for her 6th appearance of the season. Well, to me, that says a bit of experience, a bit of composure being brought onto the field.
Yeah, that's exactly what Sadie Lawrence will bring. She's a consistent worker for this Perth Glory side. She's got good passing ranges. It will allow Hannah Lowry a little bit more freedom going forward as well, as it'll alleviate a little bit of that defensive work for Lowry.
Well, this is Murphy territory. Glancing header. I thought for a moment there she was going to have an attempt at goal herself, but perhaps when Aquino is in the kind of form she's in, she opts to try and find the head of a teammate as confirmation of that sub comes through. Dalton, who's worked hard this afternoon. And Sadie Lawrence will just look to settle things in the midfield for Perth. Nice communication there with Farrow and Kazada. Johnston from Songkham, running across the line. A little step over, dip of the shoulder, looking to get the shot away. Does so, blocked well for a victory. Lawrence with her first touches of the game. Helped on by Von Songkham, and on that occasion, she hasn't beaten the offside flag.
And just in that moment for Fong Song Cam, you can see the dribbling action prior where she can be so dangerous if she can cut inside with that right foot there. In terms of the offside, she's just got to look across the line and look to make sure that she stays level with a high line being played by Victory in that back third.
Just the one shot on target for Perth, 6 for Melbourne Victory. Aquino does well. Jale splits the line, but Checker is alert to the danger. Newbon won't take any risks. Back again to Newbon. And that pressure from Perth, just doing enough for Newbon to steer that over the line, and it'll be a Perth throw. Nice touch from Farrow. Drive into the top of the 18-yard box. Millie Farrow, well, that didn't miss by much. Lashed off her boot. But those moments of quality by the English striker, she can turn moments of nothing into goal-scoring opportunities.
She's extremely agile. She turns on a dime with the ball at her feet, so any opportunity she gets to do that and drive and get a head up and get looks like that, she's going to be a threat on goal.
Wynett looks to turn out of danger, but is met by captain Tash Rigby. Morrison. Nice ball down the line for Wynett. Drives inside. That ball read, broadcasted a little easily, and Von Songkham with the defensive duties. Morrison again. Victory can build. And two athletes in Rigby and Wynett have run endlessly this afternoon. Rankin. Lowe has Lowry for company, the two goal scorers this afternoon. Picked up well by Farrow. She's dropped deep. Looking for numbers forward. Jale breaks. It's a little straight with the delivery.
And those are the moments that Perth Glory need to break forward quicker. If Farrow's going to drop deep and collect the ball in those central areas, it's about Jale getting on bike and breaking forward. Fong Song Cam, midfielders supporting, and then obviously the weight of that pass needs to be a little bit heavier into space for Jale.
Chidiac picks up the ball deep in midfield, and Rankin should go all the way back to her goalkeeper, Courtney Newbon. Victory just comfortable holding on to possession deep in their own half. You can hear the calls of get ready on the sidelines of Alex Apakis. Just trying to find their moment, pick their moment to pinch the ball, as they've done so here. Grace Johnston steers that one out for a corner. Perth with some defensive work to do. This time it will be Matilda Alex Chidiac to take. Of course, last year's Julie Dolan medalist Alex Chidiac. Great to see her back in the Liberty A-League. The tie of the shoelace, well, is that a shoelace tie or a sign? We'll find out in a moment. And again, referee Caitlin Williams just jogs in to diffuse a little something happening in and around the goal mouth. Chidiac with the corner, in-swinger, headed away by Lawrence. Chidiac will get another chance. Return ball in. Cowart heads away, helped back into the danger area. Not quite cleared by Perth just yet. But from Songkham tries to find Jale. Only goes as far as Alana Murphy, who will wind up again. That is her shooting range. She'll look to shoot at every opportunity from that kind of distance. It's a high line too from Victory. You can see setting up from the goal kick. Both Victory players right on the edge of the 18-yard box.
And you can see on the replay, Murph, she gets a head up. My preference would be that she actually looks to combine there at the top of the 18-yard. I think Aquino was fair enough on her line, and it was a poor decision by young Murphy in that moment.
Again, another look to the bench for Alex Apakis. Those moments ago, you just saw Sophia Sakalis readying herself on the sideline. One last roll of the dice. That's a great turn from Mackenzie Wynett. Bit of energy here, driving forward for Melbourne Victory. She has support in Gilnick. Gilnick perhaps in an offside position. Straightens up, gets a shot away, and the flag is raised.
Yeah, that's an excellent drive by Wynett there to attack the space. Gilnick's probably come inside a little bit narrow too soon. I think if she hangs a little bit wider there, Wynett can just roll it into the path of her. She's got a better opportunity to see it across the line and stay on side as well.
Well, she's got great explosive power, does Emily Gilnick, but you could see Wynett just holding onto the pass a moment too long, had to go that step earlier, and Gilnick gave herself up with the run, didn't she? She
did, just hold her run a little bit. Wynett releases the ball a little bit earlier, and we see a better chance created.
And after another industrious performance, Lily Farrow, well, she didn't find the back of the net, but she did work tirelessly yet again for Perth Glory. She limps to the sideline, and Sophia Sakalis, in her 12th appearance of the season, she's got one goal. Well, she'll be keen to try and separate this result this afternoon.
Definitely an enormous shift by Farrow. Her work rate on and off the ball, enormous. The addition of Sakalis, the game's been calling for it. Excellent technician. She's going to link between that midfield and front line, and we know that she has scored some bangers in the NPL Victoria, so definitely has goals in her locker.
First touches of the ball for Sakalis. Chidiac comes away, looking to release Gilnick. That pass, perhaps asking a little too much.
Yeah, and you can hear Jeff Hopkins on the sideline. He wants his team to reduce the spaces, suffocate this Perth Glory side so that they aren't able to play out, whether it's a throw-in, whether it's in build-up, and just regain possession like we see them now.
He's asking his team for a smaller shape just to compact their shape out on the field as Grace Johnston, well, she's done well on that occasion. The youngster coming on with a handful of Leah Privatelli to deal with.
Yeah, she definitely has, and what I like this season from the youngster in Grace Johnston, she's grown up through the Western Australian NTC program, actually as a midfield player, a holding midfielder. So to be deployed as a fullback where she's probably better utilised with what her strengths are, it's exciting to see.
Coming through the Football West NTC, Grace Johnston, the 18-year-old. She too announcing herself on the Liberty A-League stage this season, you have to say, and doing the job with the pomp. Gilnick will put a bit of pressure on Aquino. Cowett, and she'll drop back. Chidiac will give chase. Rachel Lowe just rides the challenge of Kazada. Free kick for Perth. Played quickly. That's what Lowry's done all afternoon, looking to get play underway quickly. Swing momentum back in the favour of the Glory girls. Here's von Songkamp. Nice defence, splitting pass to Sakalis. Now Johnston. Perth just looking for an answer. That's nipped in well by Chidiac. Reads the play to perfection. Fouls really can't be separated for the afternoon. It has been a physical match. Rankin to Lowe.
Yeah, and you can hear Alex Zepakis on the sideline constantly directing his players to move in a defensive shape where it's frustrating for Melbourne Victory, and they're forcing passes into pressure or balls like we saw to Perth Glory players when they're really not under a lot of pressure.
Well, lots of communication coming through from both coaches. That's a delightful ball over the top from Wynett. She looks to get it away early. Good, strong challenge coming through on Morgan Aquino. Emily Gilnick was there. The intended target. Direct play from Victory. As we tick in to the final minute of regulation time, there's this long ball from Alana Murphy, and well, we know about her passing range.
Superb ball by Alana Murphy, and great run by Wynett. For Murphy to play that pass, she has to see forward runners. So the fact that she's on the front foot and making that run into space makes Murphy's job a lot easier in that moment.
Perhaps not quite the delivery that Wynett would have wanted on the cross, but she had worked hard to get there and worked hard all afternoon, as fourth official Michaela Ryan confirms. The stoppage time for this afternoon will be an additional 5 minutes. Really the question will be, are either coach happy with the 1 point to take home from Unite round, or are they still pushing and searching for the result? And shouts from Parkas to hold the block in a defensive shape. Nice ball through from Morrison. Rigby, as she has been all afternoon, comes across well. Gilnick, good strength, pulled back. Miocic, a bit scrappy defensively from Perth. Clear only as far as Chidiac and Murphy, dangerous players around the edge of the 18-yard box. Rankin, back to Wynett. And Chidiac tries to help on for Rigby, and she will get a free kick right on the edge of the box. And this is the challenge just earlier. Gilnick lunging. Still feels like this one has a goal in it yet. Cowett tries to hook it away. half-time victory. I'll come back to that point in a moment. Ball into the box from Wynett, looking for the head of Privatelli. The last time victory lost 4 consecutive games was December 2019. Should this result stand, not a loss, but certainly not the 3 points Jeff Hopkins would have been looking for. As we are halfway through stoppage time, 2.5 minutes elapsed. Morgan Aquino just testing the heart rates of Perth Glory fans with that late pass. Good defensive shape too by Victory as they work hard.
And that's really clever build-up by Perth Glory in terms of the initial action where they're getting people between lines on the half-turn, and now it's about Grace Johnson in those moments, just having a little bit more composure and playing that final pass into the front third.
Wynett has been a bundle of energy all afternoon. She finds the feet of Chidiac. Back to Wynett. Victory looking for numbers in the box, not quite there. Perth, great numbers back. Chidiac just looking to get around Rigby, but Rigby's done really well on that occasion.
She's done excellent. She stands Chidiac up, she's side on, she's low. The timing of her duel, good individual defending in that back third by Rigby.
Well, great performance this afternoon from Alana Murphy. Everywhere across the field for Jeff Hopkins' side. It will be Paige Zoyce who takes to the field for her 8th appearance, the 20-year-old.
Yeah, and Paige Zoyce is an exciting player. She's a good technician.
Rankin, Gilnick almost with a spectacular.
Yeah, almost a shout for a bicycle attempt there by Gilnick. She's positioned well, and I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Well, the delivery from Rankin, well, we know she's got that on her left foot. And as every good striker does, you've got to make the most of the opportunities. Emily Gilnick maybe didn't get quite the strength behind that challenge, and that will be a free kick going the way of Melbourne Victory as we are well and truly into the final minute of stoppage time. A yellow card for Quinley Quezada in just the second of the game. And you think this could be perhaps the last kick, the last play for Melbourne Victory to try and separate this result this afternoon.
I think so, and just a clumsy tackle there by Quezada.
Long searching ball from Morrison. Didn't quite have the depth to find a Victory player in the middle of the box, but second time of asking, Victory looking for the header. Morgan Aquino, she'll gratefully take this goal kick. As 5 minutes of stoppage time has elapsed, all in the hands of referee Caitlin Williams. And there it is, Caitlin Williams with the whistle on full time this afternoon at Leichhardt Stadium. A first half goal from Rachel Lowe, only to be levelled out by a second half goal, you'd say by Hannah Lowry, but it was just the glancing header of Jamila Rankin put down as an own goal. But it finishes here at Leichhardt Stadium as Melbourne Victory 1, Perth Glory 1. And while this afternoon's result can't be separated, a point apiece for the second time this season, this was the goal that got things underway this afternoon.
Yeah, great header by Rachel Lowe. Positive with her forward run. The delivery from Jamila Rankin is pinpoint. She gets her head up. It's well weighted, and then Lowe just does really well with that glancing header.
Well, the slightest of touches from Rachel Lowe that she won't mind. A wrong-footed Morgan Aquino found the back of the net, and it put Melbourne Victory into a position at halftime going into the sheds, a goal up. And this was the Hannah Lowry delivery on that left foot. It just glanced through the head of Jamila Rankin to equalise things into the second half.
A brilliant delivery by Rankin there, and you can see the crowding of the goalkeeper. It makes it very difficult for a goalkeeper to come out and protect that space in those moments.
Well, a great way to get things underway this afternoon for Unite Round as we have a look at the match stats full time A much improved second half for Perth Glory, building their way back into the game, but ultimately still just the one shot on target for the Perth Glory girls this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a stalemate as the scoreline reflects from both sides today. Passing accuracy has improved slightly from last week for both squads, which is a positive out of the game.
Well, a point apiece this afternoon. There's Hannah Lowry, as we mentioned, pulling the strings for this Perth Glory side. A few handshakes of congratulations. Stick around for the next game on Paramount Plus. Wellington Phoenix up against the Central Coast Mariners. And thanks for tuning in to this one this evening. Remember, there's plenty more action as Unite Round continues across the weekend. And on behalf of Leah Blaney, the whole team here, and myself, Grace Gill, thanks for your company. We'll see you next time.